So far, we have no rescues outstanding. That means we know of no one waiting for us to do rescues.
Right now at 10, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly has declared a state of disaster emergency following tornado touchdowns in the state. We'll have the latest on the destruction left behind.
Plus, we do have that very same storm system to the east of us now. But when will our next chance for severe weather head our way? We'll break it down with the first look at the forecast coming up.
Also, a Florida boy travels to Joplin to run for our fallen officers. And Guns and Hoses in Joplin is back, and this year's funds going towards some scholarships in honor of those fallen JPD officers. You're watching the KOAM News at 10, and it starts right now. Multiple tornadoes touched down in Kansas Friday night, prompting the state's governor to declare a state of disaster emergency. This is damage from one of the twisters that ripped through Andover, Kansas last night. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Warner. Survivors of the tornado in Andover, Kansas are picking up the pieces after Friday night's powerful storm. No one was killed, and so far we're only hearing about minor injuries, but dozens of buildings have been damaged. The storm started out as a small rope tornado when it touched down in the Wichita suburb, but grew into a large cone as it gained momentum. Some staff and members of the Andover YMCA took shelter there, and the building took a direct hit. YMCA officials say they're thankful no one inside was hurt. And those same storms rolled into our area last night. Thankfully, they didn't pack quite a punch like we saw out there. Nick Kelly joining us. Yeah, and if I could just quickly piggyback on that tornado in Andover, Chris, the Weather Service out of Wichita had survey crews out earlier today. They have given it a preliminary rating of an EF3. We'll see if that rating holds firm when the official assessment comes out within the next few days. But thankfully, we didn't have to deal with any tornadoes in our viewing area as the storms rolled in the other night. But nothing to worry about at all throughout the course of the night ahead of us with a quiet look from 7th and Rangeline. 58 this morning, 74 this afternoon. A nice rebound after we picked up over 1.5 inches of rain at Joplin Regional alone. We had a little bit of partly sunny skies this afternoon. Now we're mostly clear for the rest of the night. That last storm system's to the east of us now, but the next system's already brewing out to the west. Fortunately, it does not have an impact on our forecast for tomorrow. As we wrap up the weekend, we're looking at mostly clear skies for the rest of the night. Cool night ahead, but not too terribly cool. We'll say upper 40s for overnight lows. And eventually late in the afternoon, some partly sunny skies will roll in, but that will not stop us from hitting 67 at noon and topping out around 73. Chris, that next storm system out west wants to be a key player in the forecast for Monday. We'll break down what it wants to do here in a few. Nick, thank you. After tragedy struck the Joplin community in March, people from all over stepped in to help. What happened in Joplin gained attention all over the country, including the attention of a 13-year-old boy in Florida. KOAM's Bronte Saratsky has more on a young boy running to raise money for the families of first responders hit by devastation.
At only 13 years old, Zachariah Cartledge is already making a difference in the world, 1 mile at a time.
I started running a mile whenever a police officer or a firefighter passes away across the United States. I've been doing that ever since the start of 2019. And over time, as we've raised more money and became a nonprofit, we also give monthly $10,000 checks to injured first responders.
The Orlando resident runs for our first responder heroes who have fallen or were injured in the line of duty and was invited to Joplin's Guns and Hoses event. Before the event started, he ran a mile in honor of every fallen first responder in the Joplin area. Cartledge was inspired to do this at a young age.
I went to this specific 5K called the Tunnels to Towers 5K. They do 5Ks all across the nation for 9/11 first responders. I was inspired enough by that run to raise money for them and during the 2018 year when I was about 9 years old. Knowing that we had all these donations in and knowing that I already raised so much for this one organization, I wanted to branch off and start my own organization.
Which is how Running for Heroes formed. Now, the nonprofit honors fallen heroes while Cartledge runs, carrying a flag in their honor. The 13-year-old balances his life as a kid, a good student, and a runner for heroes every month.
So on a weekday, usually I wake up, I do school like a normal kid, and then I have about 2 hours in between once I get home. Usually I do notes for the families I run for, and then that evening around 6 or 7 p.m. I go out and do 1 to 3 miles in honor of first responders. If there's not a need to run, then I don't have to run. And then obviously on the weekends, 2 out of 4 times on average every single month on the weekends, I will fly out and go to an amazing event like this.
Once he turns 18, Cartledge will legally become the founder of Running for Heroes and plans to pass on the responsibility of running to another eager young kid. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Now, if anyone would like to donate, you can go to runningforheroes.org. Well, after the Run for Heroes, Joplin Police Department and Joplin Fire Department squared up in a basketball match to benefit Joplin children. All proceeds from the Guns and Hoses match went towards Bright Futures Joplin. This year, all proceeds will be split with a scholarship that honors Corporal Ben Cooper and Officer Jake Reed. 2 Joplin High School students who plan to study criminal justice at Missouri Southern will be eligible.
It'll be a $1,000 scholarship each year, so we're hoping to raise enough money that we can keep it going for several years. And so all the proceeds from all the activities tonight, we have t-shirt sales, there's a silent auction, 50-50 raffle, half-court shot chances. All the proceeds from tonight will go towards splitting it between Bright Futures and those scholarships.
There are also 2 Mayoral Proclamations. July 26th will be Corporal Ben Cooper Day, and March 9th will be Officer Jake Reed Day in the city of Joplin. Carthage Water and Electric Plant hosting its annual Tower to Tower Run. The event is held to raise money for the organization Water for People, which is an organization that helps communities in their effort to get clean drinking water from all over the world.
Yeah, so I think we're just so blessed here in Carthage to have a quality utility that provides drinking water for us, and we don't have to think about it every day, but people all over the world do have to think about it, and it's an issue, so we want to help be an aid to the cause.
There were about 60 people who took part in today's run. The Miracle Baseball League is in full swing after a 2-year stint away due to the pandemic. The league gives adults with special needs the opportunity to go out and compete in a baseball game. Each participant gets 2 turns at bat and multiple opportunities in the outfield.
It's great to be back because this is our first season in a couple years due to the pandemic. So last week was our first week, and seeing all the returning players and new players, the families and the smiles and the tears and the hugs, it's great.
The league season lasts for 6 weeks. And we take this time now to honor one of our many 4-state heroes. Dr. Robert Jones served in the Air Force from 1974 to 1977. His hometown, Nevada. We're proud to recognize Dr. Robert Jones, tonight's 4-state hero. And remember, learn more about our other heroes or nominate one of your own. You can do that at any time at KOAMNewsNow.com. Still ahead on the news at 10, a Kentucky-born country music singer has died. Plus, a bird flu outbreak that has infected millions of birds nationwide has made its first jump to humans. Take a look at this. It's a time lapse of our tower cam. It's sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction as this work continues on the KOAM More Power project. You can find more information on what this project is all about at our website. That's KOAMNewsNow.com/power. Naomi John, who was part of the Grammy-winning duo The Judds, has died. The singer was born in Kentucky and was the mother of Winona and Ashley Judd. Her daughters announced their mother's death on Saturday. In a statement, the two wrote, quote, "We lost our beautiful mother to the disease of mental illness." Naomi and Winona Judd had been scheduled to be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame tomorrow. Mother-daughter performers had 14 #1 songs in a career that spanned nearly 3 decades. They stopped performing 31 years ago after doctors diagnosed Naomi with hepatitis. The Judds' hits included Love Can Build a Bridge, Mama He's Crazy, and Rockin' with the Rhythm of the Rain. Naomi Judd was 76. A bird flu outbreak that has infected millions of birds nationwide has made its first jump to humans. That outbreak infected a man that was a prison inmate in a Colorado pre-release program and was helping to clear chickens out of a bird flu-stricken farm. The man reported fatigue for a few days but has recovered, according to health officials. Recent bird flu outbreaks across the U.S. have caused the necessary killing of millions of chickens and turkeys, but federal officials say they don't see a threat of bird flu yet to the wider public. Well, this may sound unlikely, but a dental group says if you don't have time to brush your teeth, just kiss your significant other instead. That advice coming from dentists who belong to the international dental chain Impress. They say kissing boosts saliva production, which helps rid your mouth of the bacteria and acids that cause tooth decay. In fact, they say 4 minutes of kissing is equal to 1 full brushing session. However, the dentists say, make no mistake, brushing your teeth is still important, and kissing is not a good substitute for good dental hygiene. Key computer chip maker says shortages in chips could last longer than previously thought. Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger says the country's shortages in computer chips for critical electronics could now last into 2024, a year later than his last prediction. Gelsinger says shortages could affect equipment and factory needs and not just products utilizing computer chips. Ethernet, the technology used to connect local area computer networks, could also face supply constraints. Twitter employees are fuming and demanding answers as the company braces for potentially high staff turnover. Executives, including CEO Parag Agrawal, met with employees during a company-wide meeting Friday. Employees sought answers on how Twitter would handle a possible mass exodus on the heels of entrepreneur Elon Musk's $44 billion takeover of the social media giant. The company said it would monitor staff attrition, but it's too soon to know the effects of Musk's takeover. U.S. economy has hit a speed bump. April was the worst month for investors since March of 2020 and panic over the coronavirus. CBS's Michael George is on Wall Street outside the New York Stock Exchange with more.
Stocks plummeted on Friday. The Dow sinking nearly 3% and the Nasdaq off 4%. Amazon suffered its worst trading day in nearly 16 years. And Apple says global supply chain issues will cost them billions. Consumers are also feeling the pocketbook pinch. 401ks losing thousands in value. This as inflation drives up prices for food, rent, and gas, forcing many to cut back.
Not eating out as much, cutting back on coffee.
Next week, the Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates, hoping to cool inflation. Higher rates for credit cards, mortgages, and car loans will follow. Former Federal Reserve Board member James Wilcox believes the rate hikes are a necessary step.
The economy, on average, does better when we have a much lower, more predictable, almost negligible inflation rate.
But it's not all bad news. Demand for workers is high nationwide. Unemployment is down and wages are up. Are consumers willing to spend money right now?
Yes, they are willing to spend, and in part because the job market is strong.
And today, Buffett also warned Americans against treating the stock market like gambling, saying Wall Street makes money one way or another. On Wall Street, Michael George, CBS News.
Later, women's basketball at Rutgers University is going to look a lot different in the fall.
Plus, after a nice Sunday lineup, our Monday is going to look quite a bit different with our next storm system on the way. Forecast next. After a night of Doug, Hetty, and I keeping an eye on the storms that plowed through last night, the last of those storms cleared out after sunrise this morning. And the live view from Indigo Sky outside of Seneca, Missouri showed how the rest of the day panned out. Nice and quiet, maybe a little bit of partly sunny skies during the afternoon after this line of thunderstorms and the accompanying cold front came on through. But even with a little bit of cloud cover, we didn't have anything to worry about in terms of threatening weather for today. We didn't get a lot, really, thankfully, in the way of severe weather as the storms came through the other night, but it left behind quite a bit of rain where it really came on down. Area-wide averages just under an inch, but around the Joplin metro, we had 1 to 4 inches of rainfall within just a very short period of time, and that's why we had flash flood warnings out for the Joplin metro until 8:30 this morning. That, thankfully, is long gone. We kept nice and quiet all day with the Skywatch Storm Tracker staying quiet before it gets another workout by the time Monday's system comes into play. In the meantime, 1018, 7th and range line, looking good. 56, getting chilly fast with the calm breeze, and the humidity not too bad, sitting at 75% right now. Most of us are now finding temperatures in the mid to upper 50s, but as we continue with a light breeze with continued clear skies through the course of the night, I think we'll drop back into the upper 40s before we hit sunrise in the morning. There's our last storm system, and I'll plot it for you on the surface map. The cold front producing more strong and severe storms off to the east of the region, but on the backside of the front, we've got another warm front developing. That's going to join up with this cold front out to the west, and that's cold front on the way in. And then we got another upper level low that'll ramp up rain chances as that front comes into play on Monday. In the short term, though, we're in between storm systems for tonight and tomorrow. That means we stay quiet, not only for tonight, but as we wrap up the weekend tomorrow. Mostly clear skies throughout the course of the night. Upper 40s for overnight lows with that light west breeze in place. We'll get some afternoon partly sunny skies in here, but nothing underneath the clouds. So we'll keep dry for your Sunday. And temperatures don't look bad either, despite a lighter breeze, certainly compared to today. 48 in the morning, 67 by noon, highs near 73. So not bad. Certainly mild, but not too terribly warm to wrap up the afternoon tomorrow. Then here comes the storm system. It could bring in some scattered storms early Monday morning. These should not pack a punch, but we'll definitely have the rain gear handy for the drive back to work and school Monday. Then I think we'll get a break in the action with highs back in the 70s Monday afternoon, early Monday evening. But out to the west, ahead of the cold front, we'll have to watch for some individual cells. They could be supercells that'll develop. They could try to plow to the east, but we'll definitely get a good line of storms ahead of that accompanying cold front to plow on through late Monday evening into the very early morning hours on Tuesday, and then it's out of here by the time we head toward sunrise on Tuesday. But that's another low to elevated severe threat we need to keep a very close eye on from 7 to Monday evening until 1 a.m. Tuesday. I have everything elevated because we certainly cannot rule out hail, wind, heavy rain, and even some tornadoes if the storms can really develop and turn the wrong way. But that's the next big system that, of course, Doug and I and Michael Haslip we keep a very close eye on. 73 tomorrow, 72 Monday, 65 on Tuesday, morning thunderstorms Tuesday, then the rest of the day is dry. Then we'll see if we can get another shot for strong storms Wednesday and Thursday, Chris.
Certainly an active week ahead. Got to enjoy tomorrow while we've got it.
Absolutely.
Nick, thank you so much. Journey Sports, Joplin and Carthage hit the field today.
Yeah, the Tigers looking for some revenge after a recent loss to the Eagles. We've got the highlights. Plus, Newman and Missouri Southern softball battle it out for over 3 hours. Those details and more next. The Lions got off to a good start in their final series of the regular season. Missouri Southern took a dominating win over Missouri Western in the opener on Friday. Today they'll aim to do it again on Senior Day. First inning, Tommy Stevenson hits it high and deep to right center. Matt Miller scores from second. Then in the third, Miller breaks a 1-1 tie. Base knock scores Case Tucker. The Griffins break it open in the fifth. Brendan Anderson, 3-run jack to right. So the Lions have to get to work now, down by 6. Nate Miskowski rips one down the third baseline for a double. Then Henry Kuziak brings him in. This one hops over the fence for a ground rule double. Southern grinds to get back in it, but Western hangs on to win 11-9. Pitt State on the road to wrap up the season, on the field today for Game 2 against Washburn. The Gorillas find themselves in a 7-0 hole after the first inning. They slowly fight back, but Washburn evens the series, winning 10-8. Cruz Aranda goes 2 for 3 with a 2-run home run. Missouri Southern softball is just above 500 in conference play, sitting at 12-10, heading into the final weekend of the regular season. The Lions close out their 2022 schedule with the 4-game homestand. Southern hosts Newman today for a doubleheader. In Game 1, Bailey Lacey surpasses 200 career strikeouts. Tori Frazier hits a 2-run double in the fifth for the lead. That ends up bringing in the game-winning run. Lions win 2-1. Game 2, Southern goes for the sweep. They get on the board first. This is awesome. Adriana Young hits an inside-the-park home run. Lions up 1-0. Jets respond, though. Samantha Gutierrez nearly clears the fence, but it's an RBI double. Then Gianna Navarro gives Newman the lead with a base hit to left. Southern goes on to walk it off after 12 innings. Kristen Wade scores on a passed ball to win it 4-3. Pitt State also at home. Tough one today against 4th-ranked Central Oklahoma. Huge win for the Gorillas in Game 1, 11-7. They do it by launching 4 homers, and what a game for Paxton Hayes. She hits 2 of those homers, going 4 for 4 with 5 RBI. The Broncos earn the split, taking Game 2 11-1. At the high school level, the Joplin Eagles are at home today. Joplin hosts Carthage for the second meeting between these two teams this season. The Eagles got the best of the Tigers earlier this month, winning 8-5 today. Joplin off to a hot start. Ethan Guilford slips it through the left side. Kyler Stokes scores 6-1 Eagles. Carthage won't go down easy though. Within one in the 7th, Logan Carmichael goes deep to right off the wall. Braxton Tate slides home, and that's the tying run. What a comeback for the Tigers. But Joplin has the final say. Jackson Queen walks it off. Justin McReynolds scores. Joplin beats Carthage 8-7. That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
Women's basketball at Rutgers University is going to look a lot different in the fall. Famed head coach C. Vivian Stringer is retiring after 50 years on the hardwood. Stringer coaches the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and has been a trailblazer, leading Cheyenne State, Iowa, and Rutgers to more than 1,000 wins. She's the first Black Division I coach, man or woman, to do that. Stringer is also the first coach to lead 3 different schools to the Final Four. Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame and Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductee says it's rare to do something you love for so long, and she's fortunate. Stringer also says she's looking forward to spending more time with family, including her grandchildren. Basketball court at Rutgers will be named after C. Vivian Stringer in a dedication ceremony next season. Certainly an honor. 50 years of coaching and those excellent wins is just absolutely incredible.
It kind of reminds me of when you and Jacob ran a story, Danny, not too long ago about a coach in Southeast Kansas who also has been a high school coach for 50 years.
Yes, the Riverton coach, and he's been all over the 4 states. So it's just so impressive when people have that longevity, you know.
Yeah, and like that coach, I'm sure she has some amazing memories to share.
Oh, I don't doubt it. And I mean, just 50 years. You know you found something you love when you can do it that long. Mm-hmm. Something we're going to love for at least the next few hours is tomorrow's forecast.
Yeah, we're looking good. We'll go to a cool start in the morning with upper 40s, highest near 73 tomorrow. We're dry to wrap up the weekend, but alert days up for Monday because our next chance for some severe weather wants to roll in Monday evening.
Danny, a quick final check in sports.
Lots of excitement today. 2 walk-off wins. Missouri Southern over Newman, Joplin over Carthage.
Incredible games. And of course, we want to say a fond farewell to our news assistant, Ian Lee. Tonight is his last night. You can check out our 9 o'clock newscast and see his big farewell on YouTube. That is our time for now. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow night. And thanks for making us part of your night.